It's time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show live on WBON TV and on radio at WEKY, WKXO, and WIRV. Support your favorite team with apparel from Campus Wearhouse and join us here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Also brought to you by Bishop Small Engine Repair and Nuevo Vallarta. And now let's go live to your host, Michael Watkins and Samantha Burford.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome into Campus Wearhouse on this Monday night in the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Michael Watkins, Samantha Burford here with you on an absolutely gorgeous Monday night here in Richmond over at the Richmond Center, Samantha. And lots to get to. We got baseball. We got EKU women's basketball to talk about on the show tonight. Got
even
some football. Yeah, so it's we're moving right along into spring, and you know we're getting closer to that mandate ending with the mask and everything. And you know it's the rodeo happened this past weekend.
That's right. Did you go?
I did not go.
No, I didn't get to go either.
I saw some of the videos that we had taken when we were up there for the WBON TV videos. It was amazing, the number of people that were out there, no mask. Everybody was, having a good time, enjoying themselves, and I think kind of a glimpse into what this summer could potentially look like.
Yeah, we had a lot of graduation parties this past weekend, and so people, some people wore masks, some people didn't. So I think that's where we are right now.
Yeah.
And I think it's great. If you feel unsafe and want to wear a mask, wear it. If you don't, don't.
Yeah, and I'm still seeing people wearing their mask in their car. That I've never understood. But listen, if whatever makes you feel comfortable, whatever makes you feel comfortable, that's something I think is important.
Right.
But
unless you've got somebody that's a passenger and you think you might have been exposed, maybe that reason.
Yeah. But we look at back at some of the stuff that's been going on and looking ahead. Don't want to talk a lot about the NBA or whatever right now, but the NBA had the game yesterday. The Knicks were playing. And they had a lot of people inside Madison Square Garden.
Right.
And the sound of just having fans back in there.
Yeah. And the 76ers,
awesome.
I think they had like 11,000 people there. So that coach was like, it felt like 30,000 people in there. So they're just, like the rest of us, excited to have fans available and willing and ready to come to the games.
Yeah, and I think you look back at some of the sports we've had during the COVID times, with football and basketball, Southern and Central, and Berea Model had some really big games this year. You look with Southern and Central both playing North Laurel and Reed Shepherd at home, the money they could have drawn in had they had no restrictions or whatever, they might have been trying to push people out the door instead of having not let them in. So.
Next year.
It's going to be very I'm hoping that they can get some of those games on the schedule again for next year and kind of make up for what they lost on this past season.
If you don't think Austin Newton and Alan Feldhouse, both coaches of the basketball, they're definitely going to try to get North Laurel back in the door.
This makes your team better. And there was it was passed that SB, the bill with
the Senate Bill 128.
Yeah, so it was passed where the Madison County students can come back to school. I know there's a few at Southern that are taking advantage of that.
To talk to Coach Clark to see how many of his football team.
See if the Intergoing's going to do it. So that's one thing we've got coming up tonight. We do have Greg Todd, the new EKU women's basketball coach, coming up at 6:15. Around 6:30, Jon Clark will come on to talk about some spring ball and some coaching changes over at Madison Southern. It's an exciting time to be a sports fan because we're getting back into seeing the fans coming in.
Yeah.
Games are picking up. We're a week away from district tournament time
and
for baseball and softball.
And some really good baseball and softball by our counties. I mean, how fantastic is it? I'm looking forward to some district play for them.
Before we get into that, we do want to talk about some football. I talked to Mike Holcomb, who's the new head coach at Madison Central, football-wise, and I like bringing up Coach Holcomb. It always feels weird seeing him call me or his name pop up on my phone because he's a legend in my hometown.
Right.
Mike Holcomb is a legend in my hometown.
I haven't had the opportunity to meet him yet, so I cannot wait.
Just seeing his name pop up on my phone, it makes you feel, oh, wow, that's Coach Holcomb calling.
Right. Well, he's a legend.
He is, exactly. I mean, my dad and my little brother both played football for Mike Holcomb in high school.
Well, and I think that speaks volume that you look up to him. That you know him well enough that it's like, you know what, he's a great person and a great coach, and he's been around so long.
I had the chance almost to play for him. Back when I was in high school, I played at Jackson City. There was a chance before my junior year of high school that I was going to transfer to Breathitt and play basketball. I was more of a basketball player. I wasn't really good at any of them, but I was more of a basketball player. And I actually went and played and practiced with the Breathitt County High School basketball team. And I would have tried to play football, too, had that transfer. I ended up staying in Jackson City, obviously. But that was an option for me back then, and it would have been cool to have the chance to play for them.
Or you didn't make it.
I probably wouldn't have made it, but I would have liked to have had the chance to try out. But anyways, Coach Holcomb called. They are having their youth football camp. It's something that Central does every single year. It's for grades 3 through 8. The cost is $25. It's a 2-day camp, June 10th and June the 11th from 8:30 a.m. until 10:30 a.m. And it's going to be put on by the Madison Central High School football coaching staff. And there's a registration form. You can go on Twitter and get that, and we'll share that for you as well on where you can sign up. But, kids are looking for camps, and I've seen a lot of basketball camps going on. There's been dance and cheer. And,
they've all had clinics.
And I think I even saw wrestling was doing a camp. So make sure you get Twitter, folks, and follow all these local schools and their programs because they are doing all these camps.
And most of them are on Twitter.
Yes, yeah.
That's where they are, most of these sports programs for local athletics.
So get on there and like that and get more information. That way you can get your little one signed up. It's very important for that. And, this is a fun time because these youngsters are going to look up to these kids. They're going to see them on TV. They're going to see their videos. And, if it's football, you're going to see them catching a touchdown or throwing a touchdown or making a big tackle, and they're, that's awesome. That these kids will look up to the athletes and the coaches here locally. So get your kids signed up, and again, that's the Madison Central Youth Football Camp, grades 3 through 8 on June the 10th and June the 11th, 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And Coach Holcomb will be coming over to the show, I think, next week. We're going to try to get him on with us. And,
can't wait.
You'll get to meet him. I'll get to talk to him again, and we'll just see how football's been going here in Madison Central.
One thing to add is there may be restrictions, not 100% sure, so go ahead and get your child signed up now because you don't want to wait until the week before or the week of.
Yeah, and I think
it may be too late if there's a limited number of spots available.
And I think with just the morning camp, I think it allows you some time to kind of get the kids out there, get them back home. Grades 3 through 8. You might still be taking some naps during the day. I wish I could.
And June 11th is when Governor Beshear has opened up the state as of right now. So that falls right in there.
Yep.
So who knows?
Yeah,
hopefully they'll have a lot of kids.
And again, for more information, you can check out the Madison Central Football Twitter account. We are here live tonight at Campus Wearhouse in Richmond, and it's been a while since we've been over here, Samantha. They've got a whole new store, basically.
Oh, they
new
do
apparel,
since the last time we were here.
Officially licensed. Right here it is. Officially licensed collegiate product. That's EKU apparel right here behind us. They've got some polos.
Bought some stuff.
And listen, if I know moms that like to get out there with their kids and they're playing pee-wee baseball or they're playing softball, whatever the case is. If you're a baseball or softball mom, they literally have shirts that say that on there.
Yep.
And they've
Kentucky
got some
stuff, Eastern stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, candles, bracelets, you name it, they have it. I mean, whether you're a guy or a girl, come in here and get it.
Look at all this stuff. EKU fans, they've got everything you could want. They got koozies, lanyards, they got hats,
even
necklaces.
some red, white, and blue. They're getting ready for Memorial Day or July 4th, whatever you want to celebrate. And hats. Look at the cool hats over there.
Yeah, and listen, they literally got something for everybody. They got now the Saturdays are for the boys, the old road T-shirts back there. They've got local stuff for you. I mean, just a little bit of everything here inside the store at Campus Wearhouse next to Buffalo Wild Wings. It's 2 doors down. And come on over here and check them out in the Richmond Center and get something for everybody. They got, kids' T-shirts now available inside the store as well. You can match mom and dad. If you all get a T-shirt, you can match.
It'd be good for photos, wouldn't it?
It would. And you can check out their Facebook page, Campus Wearhouse, to get more information on that.
I even see stickers and license plates, all kinds of stuff. So if you're still looking for a college graduate or a high school graduate, you don't have the gift yet, you can come right in here and find anything.
Is it just me, or did school just fly by this year?
I agree. I think it went by really fast.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when we look back on the sports season, it kind of seemed like we were doing so many games that went by fast anyway. But it's crazy that we're already – I mean, graduation just happened this past weekend. I mean, it flew by. Once they got into school and were able to go to school, actually, it seemed like it just flew right by.
Yes, and now, I mean, we're almost near the end of baseball season with the tournaments coming up. So I agree. Now, I don't know if the students would think that it flew by, but it seemed like it did for us. And maybe that's because we did more games this season with football and basketball than we've ever done before. So that could be a possibility.
That's
we
true.
were busy about every night.
You know, and one thing we haven't done as many baseball and softball games this year just because of, you know, internet access inside the press boxes and everything else. But we have got a ton. I mean, we had some really good basketball players on both girls and boys. You know, Samantha Cornelison, Cole Brown, you know, the DeVries kid, Jalen Dorsey, you know, the Perry's, the 3 kids going to play college basketball at Malden. There's a lot of really good talent locally on basketball. Softball and baseball might take the cake as far as the most talented athletes. You look at Tessa Jewett at Southern, Skylar Jacob over at Madison Central. You got Brandon Anderson at Central. I mean, there are a ton of really good baseball and softball players.
Sage Jackson, too.
Yeah, Sage Jackson, and you look at what...
They're all hitting these home runs.
Home runs, yeah.
Like, massive home runs. Like, the numbers, I mean, they've hit 8, right? And it's unless the number is happening even more so today. I think between Tessa Jewett and Sage Jackson, they're like at a school record of 8 home runs each.
Yeah, and I was going to pull it up here and look.
Maybe they're trying to outdo each other.
Well, that's good competition within the team. And Tessa's a good pitcher as well. I mean, you know, Tessa's going to go play at Western Carolina, and you know, Sage is a really good. She pitched the game against Central the last time they played. So they've got some really good local talent here on the baseball and softball diamond. So looking forward to seeing district tournament time when it rolls around here in about a week or so. We are live here at Campus Wearhouse, and you were talking about the home run numbers, Samantha.
Yeah, lay it on us.
8 each for Jewett and Jackson.
Yep.
Kaylin Conrad's got 3 of them for Southern, and Skylar Jacobs got almost 10 herself over for Madison Central.
And
so
even Samantha Cornelson's hitting home runs, so she's got, I don't know the exact number, 2.
And then Dawes has got 2 as well for
Southern.
So
Yes.
We will have the dates for you here coming up. We'll try to get you all the information for the district tournament whenever we get that settled up. We're going to try to do the entire tournament here on WBON if it works out that way. But I think when I talked to Jay Simmons today, Model is actually the host, and the dates are June 5th, 7th, and 8th. So we'll try to get as many of those games in as we can for the district tournament. We are live here at Campus Wearhouse, folks, and we're also brought to you by a ton of great sponsors. Jack Burford Chevrolet, obviously, Bishop Small Engine Repair, also the Nuevo Vallarta, a Mexican restaurant there on Big Hill Avenue, and the law office of Patrick O'Neill. Samantha, we've been talking baseball and softball, football. How about some EKU women's basketball? We'll take a commercial break. When we come back, Coach Todd is in the house. We'll talk to him. He is back home here in Richmond. We'll talk to Coach Todd when we come back on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Hey, why aren't you watching these 30-second walk-arounds?
I'm Michelle.
And I'm Jennifer, and in the spring of 1992, Bishop Small Engine Repair was born in our mom and dad's barn in Estill County.
Then in the fall of 1992, we made the move to Madison County, where we are today. With the support of our family, customers, and community, we have continued to grow in the outdoor power industry. With a full line of products from Kokudet, Grasshopper, Echo, and Shindawa, we can help you tackle your yard so you can enjoy it with your family. Bishop Small Engine Repair, where our focus is our customer. Stop on in, 119 North Estill Avenue in Richmond. We can't wait to see ya.
Support your favorite team with apparel from Campus Wearhouse in Richmond. Whether you're an EKU fan or you're a part of the Big Blue Nation, Campus Wearhouse has something for you. Stop by and see their new line of Old Road t-shirts, because guys, we know Saturdays are for the boys. Plus, they have the cutest seasonal tees for the ladies. And Campus Wearhouse now carries a new line of tees for the kiddos as well. Visit CampusWearhouseRichmond.com or stop by their location in the Richmond Center next to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best margaritas and fajitas in town. Doesn't a huge 32-ounce ice-cold beer sound great? Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
We are back here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show at Campus Wearhouse tonight. Samantha Burford here with Coach Greg Todd. And, Coach, welcome in. Excited to have you on the show with us tonight.
Thanks so much for having me. Very exciting time for me and obviously my family and to be part of the Colonel Nation, and looking forward to the next several weeks.
Well, let's talk about what you've been doing since you accepted the job and kind of how the transition's been.
We've been working, fortunately been able to work out a few of our players, which has been great. And then we've also been able to start working on hiring a staff, and not got anything official, but Matt Thune will be able to retain him,
okay,
and
yeah.
Lindsey Hieronymus will do our director of operations, and working on getting the other two assistant coaches in, and finishing up schedule and finishing up a roster as well. So trying to get a lot of things done in a short period of time. And in June, we're able to get all of our athletes in. Looking forward to that. And of course, July is a big recruiting time.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of things going on, and very thrilled to be in this position.
Well, I think most people know you as a recruiter. I mean, they know how well you've done with all the many other programs that you've been a part of. Well, tell us how you feel about joining a new conference and going from OVC to ASUN now.
Oh, I think it's awesome. I feel like it's great timing. I think our administration is supporting athletics at a great level, and to be able to move into the ASUN with 4 Florida schools, Kennesaw in Atlanta, Georgia, Liberty, with schools like Lipscomb and
Bellarmine too.
Bellarmine will be our traveling partner. So it's exciting to be in a new conference, and I think recruiting wise to be on planes playing in conference is big, and also in those areas that we'll be able to recruit in. So definitely embrace that change, and I think it will help our program.
You know, you look at, you've obviously had success with a lot of local players, and I think that's something that Coach Hamilton's obviously shown he's able to do as well. And I think in today's age and time, when you've got Huddle, you've got all these companies that do live streams like we do, is it easier to recruit like that, or is it? I mean, obviously it's better to do it in person, but does it make it a little bit easier to kind of scout with all the things that you're able to see now?
Well, I think it helps. There's no question. There's a lot of different avenues recruiting, and certainly Kentucky. We want to make that a great state for us, and I think with Morehead State, it was a little more difficult being in the eastern region.
Yeah.
I feel like here it's definitely easier to recruit in-state players, and so we're excited to get a roster. I think with a good part of Kentucky kids, and I think you can evaluate Kentucky local kids easier than if you're, up in Canada or out in California. It's just a little bit tougher. So hopefully we can get a good inroad there, and I think we're off to a good start with that. And if we'll start there recruiting, and certainly there's players all over, and we have a couple good international kids that we'll have this season as well. So definitely have a plethora of areas that we'll be able to recruit from.
So 29 years as a head coach, you have sat in Alumni Coliseum obviously before. How is it going to feel different this time on the other side, on the different bench?
Well, it's funny you ask. I had a lot of success at Alumni Coliseum when I was at Berea High School in '98. We had the state tournament there, had a great run, and then transitioning over to Lexington Catholic, we had a state tournament there my first year in 2000. We made the semifinals of that tournament. We had all of our regional play, so I had a lot of success. And then from Morehead to not as much success playing the Colonels, and we had some good programs over the years. They just seemed to play better on their home floor. We had some success at Johnson Arena, but not as much success there. But obviously now in a different spot, and to be be an ally, be on the team. It'll be great, and being local and having a lot of connections of folks here, and looking forward to building the program with a better fan support, and feel like we can definitely do that. We got to get a little better brand of basketball, and we're working hard to do that. And I feel like good things will happen.
Right. Let me ask him this real quick. We feel like A.W. Hamilton has done that. Like he's built the brand, he's built the fan support. How do you feel like you're going to do that other than getting those recruits in?
I think A.W.'s done a great job getting out in the community.
Yep.
He's got a lot of support. We need to be able to do the same thing. And then obviously I think his first year he had an exciting brand of ball. Maybe he didn't have as many wins as he'd like to have. Last 2 years in a very good Ohio Valley Conference, was able to get a lot of wins, and that support, it snowballs and it picks up with the winning. So he's been very good to me, and I'm hoping we can have that same formula, and I think we can, and looking forward to that opportunity.
Speaking about Coach Hamilton, I shared the story about him last week, taking a picture of me and the family when we went to a movie a couple of years ago. But you talked about him getting out in the community and just being able to kind of not only the brand of EKU, but he's able to kind of promote his players. And I think that's what kind of makes his program successful, because you can get to know not only the coach, but the people that you're out there watching and you're going to be supporting in the stands. The fans can get to know Michael Moreno or some of these players. So I think that's kind of another good thing that he's been able to do.
And they're fun to watch.
They are fun to watch, too. So, and again, you talked about the wins and all that kind of adds up to it. What do you think is going to be the most important thing for the women's program to get the success that you want to early, and then as you build the program as well?
I think we've got a great group of young ladies. I think I've inherited a good group of young ladies. I love going back with A.W. Hamilton. One thing I've always seen in his teams, they fight you for 40 minutes, and you can have them down 20 points at halftime, and you better keep playing against them. And I hope we will have that same type of intensity. I think I've been fortunate over the years with our teams. Even on years, if we didn't have as strong a group as we had, we'll fight to the end. And I think that brand of basketball is good. And he presses at a great level, and I've done a lot of that. I think our personnel this year will be able to press. It won't be probably 40 minutes of pressing. We'll have to mix that in. We'll play fast. I think it'll be exciting. But I think the one thing you'll see in common is if we get down 10 or 12 points, you don't have to go home on us. I think we will fight, and hopefully we can instill that and just have a well-conditioned team that it means a lot to them, and that they will make this community proud of how hard they play and how hard they will work. And I think that's important, and I feel like even a short period of time we'll have that type of team.
I think the momentum that the university has right now with moving into the ASUN, with the football team dropping out of the OVC, playing their own schedule, kind of doing things their own way this year. Obviously, the success of the basketball team and some of the recruits they've had coming in. You look at what the softball team just did winning the OVC championship. There's a lot of momentum around the university right now. And do you think that that's going to help you grow the program?
Oh, no question. It's been great. Of course, Matt Rohn, starting with him.
It's my guy right there. I love that guy.
He's doing an awesome job, and it starts with him. Of course, President McFadden is very much on board, and Luis Diaz is great being on the board. So I think you're right. I think administratively it's good, and I think with all the sports programs doing well, I think we can piggyback off each other, and it'll be great. And I think it's you saw our baseball team finishing strong this year. New coach, new program, and it's sometimes not easy that first year. But I was out of their game the other night. They finished the season up on a pretty strong note. So that's I think what you will see building, and I don't think necessarily this year one or year two. I think you're going to see this build, and over the next 3, 4, 5 years. I think we could be getting commissioner cups for Eastern Kentucky and the ASA, and I feel that strong about it. And I know it's been a while since we've consistently done that, but that as a team player, that's where you want your programs for sure.
All right, well, your whole career has been dedicated to women's basketball. So tell us why. Why women's basketball? You know, you being the coach, what's your love for women's basketball?
That's a great question. I started out actually in middle school coaching boys basketball, and I was a GA here as a men's coach, and it was something I wanted to be a head high school boys coach, and that opportunity just didn't come to me as quickly as I would like to. And I got a job at my hometown in Berea, and was asked to be the girls coach, and inherited a very good team, and just really loved it. My first year, we went to the All-A again at Alumni Coliseum, played, won a game that first year, had some great girls, and never really looked back from that. I had a couple opportunities. Actually had a opportunity to coach at Lexington Catholic Boys when would have been #1 in the state after we had won some games. So I've had some opportunities to go into boys, but I think my personality is more, to be honest, when I coach guys, I had to get mad every practice. And
we can do that sometimes.
That is not my personality, and I know it's been 29 years, and I'm not so sure how it's changed, but I'm not one that likes to get upset every day and kind of work on getting their egos in check and getting them ready to play. But I shouldn't be beating up men's basketball. But no, it's just been very good to me. I felt like my personality is more suited for the girls, and it's just always been something that I've enjoyed doing.
You know, I think with, you know, you talked about, you know, Matt Roan and everything that's been going on with the transitioning into the ASUN. Was that a big factor? I know you wanted this job for a long time, but was that another big factor in you taking the job?
Oh, I mean, this couldn't be a better time. You know, obviously, like you said, I would have liked to have had this job 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think the timing right now is the best it's ever been.
Oh, wow.
And so very, very excited about that. And for me, I've been able to have good players, good coaches, and I can tell you my motivation level here for the level of what we have is the highest it's ever been. So nothing will mean more to me than getting this program where we want it to be. So I'm very honored, thrilled that I'm getting this opportunity, and don't take it for granted one day. I mean, it's kind of like Rick Pitino says, there's a one-day contract, and I know Rick's maybe a whole other story, but
we can talk about him for a long time.
Yes, but I do agree with his philosophy, and you know, take every day and make it your best day, and kind of live by that. But definitely, it's just a great time to be a Colonel.
I would think most people would agree. I mean, Rick Pitino is a great coach. There's some other things people may not agree on, but
unbelievable coach, right?
Did you have Tanya Denny? Did Tanya Denny play for you?
Tanya Denny was my girl. Yeah, 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds. 5'5" girl. Tanya was awesome. Yep.
I talked to her. Her son plays, you know, basketball for Central. Plays football too, but that just kind of popped into my head whenever you were talking about being the All-A Classic. And Berea's has a pretty good little run right now, 3 years in a row.
You're right. It's been a long while. And a little known fact with me, I think people look at my career and see Lexington Catholic. We had such a great run, and then Transylvania, we had a very strong program, and Moorhead typically in women's basketball hadn't. And we weren't quite as consistent as I'd like to have been at Moorhead State, but we had, you know, one of the best runs they've ever had. But Berea was actually, you know, my first start, and to be able to get the impact in that community is what we're really shooting for here, and being Madison and being my alma mater. It is very special, and we had some. And of course, coming out of the 11th region was tough, but we made the regional finals couple other times, and you know, to go to the state tournament in '98 was huge. So but the fan support we had for Berea community was great, and that's what we need to have here at a higher level.
Well, I see some future recruits coming out of Berea.
There's some of them over that they can play, that's for sure.
We're just giving you that little nudge.
Well, he probably knows about it.
Yeah. I'm sure he does.
Before we let you go.
Oh yeah, and I got another question real quick.
Okay, well, you go first, and then we'll wrap it up with mine.
So Moorhead. Being there, you're now moving to Richmond. Nothing against Moorhead. It's just very different. I'm from Fleming County, right next to Moorhead.
The mountains are different.
It's very different. So how has the transition been, moving your family? I know it's a lot.
It is, but for us, we've been in Lexington a lot with Transylvania.
Right.
We didn't move over to Moorhead until just recently, so not as big a change coming to Richmond. That we'd not spent as much time as, of course, when we was at Berea. My wife and I, we spent a lot of time in Richmond at that point, but that's
changed a little bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, but it's changed
especially
a lot.
where we are right now. It's changed
absolutely.
a lot.
It's
and you're going to have to go to La Rosa's before too long. It opened today, so
awesome.
give them a little plug.
But no, that's a good question. We're looking forward to it. Moorhead State was very good to my family and good to me, but this is home, and this is where I want to be, and looking forward to it.
Do you want to live in Berea? You want to go back to those roots? Richmond, closer to Lexington?
Richmond.
You're looking everywhere.
Richmond.
You want to be close. I mean, nobody's got his roots in
15
Berea.
minutes to being back home. I mean,
you're right. My mom lives down the road, but we'll be. I think every head coach, to my knowledge, lives here in Richmond, so we'll be very soon to Richmond.
That'll be close to your office.
Yes, definitely.
Before we let you go, last question here. What can fans expect of EKU women's basketball here in year one, and then as you move into the ASUN and all the other years to come?
Well, I think we'll be exciting. I think we'll push pace. We'll score. I think our offense will be fun to watch. We'll have to figure out a way to stop our opponents defensively right now. Just watching the girls, I think that's probably the bigger challenge. But we don't have everybody in. But, I think we're going to play a fast style. You'll see some pressing. You'll see up and down. You'll see some three-point shots. Obviously, we want to be able to attack the basket and get to the rim. Will be, I think, an exciting brand of basketball. And I really feel like it's a kind of an odd year because the talent level at every school is going to be higher with COVID, where everybody's getting the extra year. So even though I feel like we have much better talent than maybe that was on the team last year, everybody else is probably going to be in that same situation. So I don't know that I want to predict 23 wins or anything crazy like that.
You don't jinx yourself.
But it will be it should be a fun. I think for women's basketball, this is going to be a good thing because there needs to be a little more talent level, and I think you're going to see that. And it's going to be in men's as well. It's just there's so many more good men's basketball players that it may not show quite as much. But I think for women's game, it's going to be exciting. You're going to see a lot more good talent.
Well, Coach, thanks for coming over. We appreciate that, and looking forward to seeing you and Lady Colonels out there this
nice
year.
to meet
you.
you.
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
That's Greg Todd. Folks, when we come back, we'll talk some high school football. Jon Clark, listen, every time I talk to Coach Clark, I get pumped up. He's in the house. We'll talk to him when we come back.
We're going to come out doing
this. On the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Hey, why aren't you watching these 30-second walk-arounds?
I'm Michelle.
And I'm Jennifer, and in the spring of 1992, Bishop Small Engine Repair was born in our mom and dad's barn in Estill County.
Then in the fall of 1992, we made the move to Madison County, where we are today. With the support of our family, customers, and community, we have continued to grow in the outdoor power industry. With a full line of products from Cupcadet, Grasshopper, Echo, and Shindawa, we can help you tackle your yard so you can enjoy it with your family. Bishop Small Engine Repair, where our focus is our customer. Stop on in, 119 North Estill Avenue in Richmond. We can't wait to see ya.
Support your favorite team with apparel from Campus Wearhouse in Richmond. Whether you're an EKU fan or you're a part of the Big Blue Nation, Campus Wearhouse has something for you. Stop by and see their new line of Old Road t-shirts, because guys, we know Saturdays are for the boys. Plus, they have the cutest seasonal tees for the ladies. And Campus Wearhouse now carries a new line of tees for the kiddos as well. Visit campuswarehouserichmond.com or stop by their location in the Richmond Center next to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best margaritas and fajitas in town. Doesn't a huge 32-ounce ice-cold beer sound great? Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
We're back on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show live tonight at Campus Wearhouse here in Richmond. Samantha, listen,
I've already bought stuff. I bought stuff. I think other people are buying stuff.
Yeah, Coach Clark bought something here too. But listen,
I didn't realize I dropped the video. I was in the background buying stuff. Some people sent me messages. They're like, "Get out of the video." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Hey, I think that's perfect. They got some really cool stuff.
They do. We're so excited. Listen, we've had some guests on, but football is the sport that we kind of get the most
excited.
Buzz about.
Yeah.
And with Coach Clark, listen, how has everything kind of calmed down after the way the season ended last year? Have you calmed down now?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It was a bummer, the ending. Yeah. Should we remind everyone?
Yeah,
but
it seems like it was like a lifetime ago. I mean, we don't even, we need to move on in the conversation. But honestly, think about how different the world was.
Yeah.
Yes, a year ago.
Not even that.
Not even a year ago. We're talking 7 months ago.
Yeah.
It's insane.
But to think that you were playing could have been playing in December.
It's amazing we got as many games in as we did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I remember Newton. Every time Newton had a game canceled, I'd go sit in his office and counsel him. I'm like, it's okay. It's COVID year. It's okay, dude. There's nothing you can do about it. It's okay. I'd talk him off the ledge a couple times during basketball season, but it was rough for everybody. Dealt with it everywhere. It wasn't just us.
But truly, I mean, you never knew from week to week if it was going to be your last game or if you were going to get another game in.
I also knew there'd be at some point it would affect us. And if you remember it at the beginning of the season, we had only been in pads twice before we played our first game, which was obvious.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad they got to play as many as they did last year. I think the kids handled it unbelievably well. Well, that team last year handled it. So
let's talk about the team and the guys you've got coming back. You got Cole coming back, and I've seen pictures. He looks like he's put on some muscle. You got Walter Smith coming back. I mean, he should be on some Mr. Football candidacies if he's not already. I mean, that kid has got the potential. That's how good he can be. And just talk about some of your other guys coming back, Ja'Shawn Etheridge and
we've got a lot of returning experienced players right now, and we had the most productive spring practice I've had in 10 years. Really like the direction we're going as a program right now.
That's saying something.
Really like where we're going. We had 9 kids due to the SB 128.
Yep.
We were going to ask you about that.
We had 9 kids that are potential holdbacks now.
And
I say potential.
Any seniors or
no,
all underclassmen?
All sophomores or juniors or freshmen.
Okay.
So, and all guys that play, that start. So we're talking we could have a couple years here where things line up pretty nicely. I say potentially because you could still graduate. You might not. There's a lot of nuances in there I won't get into. But, we had a fantastic spring. The weight room, the year before we didn't get much time with them in the weight room. We have worn the weight room out like we did in the past this off season. Got some guys squatting in the 450, 500 range again. We're getting back to where we were strength-wise that we just hadn't been in a while because we couldn't get in there for the last season. You mentioned Cole. He's put on some weight. He's about 205 pounds right now at 6'4". Zach Hess has shot up. He's 6'5", 250.
Oh, wow.
Ja'Shawn Etheridge just put on 20 pounds this offseason. So Ja'Shawn's always been a good athlete, but he's never been a 180-pound good athlete.
Right.
Yeah.
So he ran a 4.5 flat at 181 pounds. Just some guys are growing. Lucas Mullins was a freshman last year. He's up to 185, 190. He had a great spring. He's going to really help. Really help on both sides of the ball this year.
So you're going to have lots of experience.
We've got lots of experience. We've got guys that like the weight room. It's an exciting time right now.
Well, when you look at the COVID year, one thing that it did for you all, you had a successful season, but you were able to get some of those young guys experience because you had some injuries, you had some guys out with
Played
other
a lot
issues.
Of guys last year.
So that was able to kind of get some of those younger guys in some big games a chance to play.
It was, and spring ball is so underrated in Kentucky. It's so underrated because you can just play.
Yeah.
And so we had an actual spring game, and we split them into 2 separate complete teams. Every kid played the whole game. And it's been a while since we've been able to split everybody. It was 14-14 It went into overtime. We settled it with rock, paper, scissors on the 50-yard line. So it's been a long time since we've been able to play 60 plays with two separate teams and have it be like a very even game.
Right.
Like, we tackled Walt in the spring game, and when you can split your team up and still tackle one of the best players in the state, like, he got tackled for loss once or twice. He's like, why am I getting tackled for loss? Like,
yeah, he's probably like, what are you all doing? Don't tackle me.
Yeah, no, we had a really developmental spring. And have a lot of really good returning players. Like Stephen Whitehead played a lot last year on both sides of the ball, and at the end of the year was playing some tailback. Stephen's up to 215 pounds right now. He's about 6'2". He's put on really good size.
Got Jace back, right? Kicker?
Jace is back, Jace is back as well. Jackson Chambers is back. Mitchell Mills has put on about 15 pounds. He's about 200 pounds now at outside linebacker and receiver. And then we've added 3 guys from the basketball team. Hezekiah Fogel played as a freshman.
Great athlete.
Hadn't played in a while. Kai's 6'5", 220 right now, playing receiver and outside linebacker for us. And then Brett Urslin's come out, Big Brett. He had a really, really good spring. He's not played. You just don't know how well they're going to do. I knew he could be good, but I think he surprised himself this spring. And then Blake Simpson. Blake Simpson was one of the best receivers coming out of middle school that naturally I'd seen. And Blake hadn't played since middle school, but he had a good spring. So we've added some depth at some different positions. Rocky Whitehead finished in the top 3 in state in wrestling. We're going to leave him in that weight class instead of bulking him back up. He's trying to wrestle in college. So Rocky's going to stay leaner, so he's not going to be playing on the line this year. He's going to play linebacker and running back. Had a really good spring at those 2 positions. So really like our depth, like where we are.
Right. Yeah. Sounds like you have a lot set already.
Yeah, we really do, and there's a lot of young guys developing. We're developing some depth. Really feel like we have 8 linemen that can play right now. Feel like we have 3 or 4 guys that can tote the rock. Ethan Woods had a great spring. Ethan Woods.
He played some wide receiver for you last year,
Played some wide out and backup quarterback. Really developed at all positions this year. Safety, wide receiver, and quarterback. So, like, Ethan is a vital role in the team right now. Ethan Moore is a freshman that is coming up, and I just actually left him and Cole and some guys that were working at the school right now to come up here. Like, he's got a great work ethic, good athlete, good natural hands. He only played a year of football before. So just seeing a lot of development. It's fun.
You're talking about Brett, and Coach Newton's always told me every time I've talked to him, Brett could be a good football player if he would get out there and do it. I mean, he's big, but he's very agile for his size and can move. Laterally, you can see his movement. It's pretty good.
And we're playing Brett at tight end.
Oh, wow.
And the reason being is, 1, we don't need him at offensive line. And 2, we can get him on the field faster. It's a lot to learn to just play line, especially with some of the things we do with passing, running, some different things. But tight end is a lot simpler to teach right away, and he's got great hands. And he's blocked well this spring.
A natural.
So I think it's a way to get him on the field quicker. He had a really good spring for us, and he's going to help at the end some too.
I saw on Facebook you and Coach Newton today were talking about the multi-sport athletes. And you've got some good ones. Brett's one of those, Hezekiah. You've had some good ones that have come through. Walt comes to mind, obviously. So just talk about that and how important you think that is.
Yeah, so we were sitting there today, Newton Langfeld and I were just talking about in Lunsford, soccer coach Lunsford, talking about the number of kids we have playing multiple sports. It's never been like this since I've been at Southern, how awesome it is. Jackson Chambers, 3-sport athlete. Justice Williams is the last one I can think back that, like, excelled at 3 like Jackson is. Jackson wasn't at spring ball at all. So, like, we're doing all this at spring. Jackson's not there. He's a vital part of our football team. He's a 2-way starter.
Is Jackson the one that's doing the pole?
No, Jackson does basketball and baseball.
Okay.
Yeah, and he plays receiver. He plays safety, outside linebacker, some different stuff. But he's been starting since a freshman. And so he wasn't even in spring for a single practice. Carson Liver started for us at guard last year. Carson plays baseball. So we didn't have 2 starters right there. Jay Sean is in the World Championships. He's really good at cheering. So he does the World Championships. So we didn't have 3 returning starters for all or most of spring and just let guys develop. So, but the multi-sport stuff I think is huge. And what we're noticing is it's starting to bleed the culture into each other's programs because we're all doing similar things. It just, the kids don't know it because they're not all in each other's locker rooms all the time. And they're realizing, like, okay, this is similar. Like, we're all one team, and we all talk about the things we're doing as coaches. So I think I listed like over a third of my roster right now is doing another sport.
Wow.
That's unheard of.
I think that keeps them out of trouble in one thing.
And athletic. And in
keeps
shape.
Them busy and keeps them in shape.
We have like 6 doing track
I
right
love it.
now.
Out of trouble. I love
guys,
that's a big thing whenever you're in school. You never know.
We have guys wrestling. We have guys doing soccer, guys doing baseball. It's neat. It's really good.
Well, talk about your coaching staff. There's obviously been some changes with that this year.
That's what I was going to
ask.
Talk
about that and kind of, because you brought some of your former players in, correct?
Yeah, so really, really like where we're at as a staff right now. So I think it's important. I'm going into my 11th season, so I think we're getting to the point where it's time to start bringing in guys who have played for us that want to do this.
Yeah, know your program.
Absolutely. So Buddy Harrison played for us the first couple of years. Buddy was a really good two-way player for us, extremely intense. He's going to coach running backs and work with the secondary. He's been a great addition. He's been working at Ferristown, coaching there.
Okay.
Kind of working his way in to get a feel for this. So he's just, you talk about all energy. This kid's all energy. He bleeds blue and orange.
Man, more energy than you got? Because you got a lot of it.
No, he's full of energy.
He's got
Man, we got to hang out with him.
He's the energy guy. Rico Brown. Rico was a superstar at Southern before I got there. So when Rico was leaving, I was coming in. He ended up going to Western Kentucky, played both sides of the ball, and then had a good career there. Joined the military, was in the Army, got out of the Army. Came back to Richmond, and I called him right away. And he's coaching our secondary. He's going to help with the receivers as well. Tons of energy. He bleeds blue and orange. He's one of the best players that's ever walked through the building. So I think having those young energy guys has been really good, and the players have really taken to them. And,
that's good.
And that helps us old guys out too.
I was getting ready to say they can relate to the young
on
guys.
The staff too. I love that guy too.
Tony. A lot of people came to me and talked to me about Tony, and I'd never met him before. And so I did something I've not really done before. I just called him, and we started talking, and I said, how about you come by for the next month, come by practice, and let's just get to know each other. And so he would stop to practice, and we'd hang out in the weight room, and we'd talk, and we got to know each other. And then afterwards sat down and said, do we feel like this is a good fit? Because I don't like to hire people I don't know.
Yeah.
And, man, what a great fit. He is an awesome dude.
Yeah.
How well do you guys know him?
Yeah, I know Tony really well.
Gosh, dang. I hate it for Berea, but I love that he's with me. I'm not going to lie. He is a great get for us. He's coaching O-line and D-line.
He played for Coach Kidd.
Yeah, he played at Eastern. We come
Is
from
it the Tony I know?
Yeah, from Berea.
Oh, that's the Tony.
Yes.
I do know him.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Yes.
He's fantastic.
Okay.
So kids call him Coach D.
Okay, yeah.
But he was joking the other day he had more linemen than he had players last year.
Yeah.
Just in spring ball, because he's used to a smaller setting. But he's done outstanding. And one of the great things with him is, line play can be similar at places or can be really different. We come from the same school of thought on line play. And so it was really easy to transition the line to him, which is rare.
Yeah.
So I've been completely hands-off with the O-line this offseason, and that's been awesome. He's so good with the kids.
I think it says a lot about Tony that you've got that kind of confidence in him already.
Oh yeah.
True.
He's fantastic.
And knowing he came from another program, that he's not, he's a good person.
When I got there tonight, with calling some of the skill guys, Coach D was leaving with the linemen. So, they want to show up and work out with him 24/7. And then the other big addition was Tim Kirk as our defensive coordinator. Tim's been at Central. Now, this isn't something – I've been trying to get Tim for years from Mark. I think he's so good. Since back when we played them at Garrett, they're so sound on defense, some of the things he's doing. They fly to the ball. They're disciplined. And I just – always wanted an opportunity to get a hold of him, tried to steal him, but he's a loyal guy. He wouldn't move. So to be able to get Tim was really great, and the kids really took to him this spring.
And the one thing we know about Central's teams the last 5 or 6 years under Coach Sanders, their defense was always there.
They were
it's always one of the best defenses we play.
Yeah.
Always.
Well,
until
Coach,
this past
before we
year.
let you go.
Oh, no, I got questions.
Well, throw it out there.
Okay, you mentioned a minute ago playing both sides of the ball. So, but, you've always had lots of kids do that.
Yeah.
So with having this many that you're so excited and pumped about, and the depth you mentioned, do you think you'll have less kids playing both sides of the ball?
We're going to play a lot. We're going to two-platoon at receiver. We have legit 8 guys that can catch the rock right now. So, what you'll see probably different with us is we're not going to leave 4 guys and 2 receivers in the whole game anymore. We'll be able to rotate, second group in, D-line. There's going to be, guys, we're going to be able to rotate third down groups in and out like right away early in the year. O-line, we don't have to leave them all on the field and hope somebody doesn't get hurt. Running back will be by committee. So we feel like we'll be able to keep guys fresher this year than we've been able to do in a long time.
Yeah. Well, we love watching you guys play and coach because we sit up there in the press box going, this is going to be a trick play. Like we know it's coming.
Try to guess what it is.
Like we're guessing what it's coming, and we're usually wrong.
I think what we in years, especially like in the last few years, when you've had Walt and guys that can make these explosive
that
plays,
can do those plays.
That's been the most exciting part because you never know because you got the ability to break one every single play.
Yes.
And so the offensive coordinator role has been handed over to Ben Colbert. Ben's been with me from day one. He's going into year 11 with us, and really sat down with Ben this offseason and was like, this is yours now. You need to do this because he has so many good ideas. And he wasn't sure about it at first, but he's run with it. And this spring we were like, Ben is an explosive-minded coach. So he's all about explosive plays. And, man, we did some good stuff this spring on offense, just some things that really put pressure on the defense on stuff we've not done before.
Yeah.
And he's doing a great job of looking at our skill set of our kids, our quarterback, and saying, let's move the ball around the field more than we have even in the past. So it's a good fit. I really like the way we're headed.
Two things. You got something else?
Yes, I want to know about the schedule. Which game are you most looking forward to?
First game.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to
always the first
that's
game.
The coach talks.
Well,
I know it, but I want to know really.
The first game. I mean,
okay.
We open
and then
up.
It's the next
we
game.
open
and then
up
it's
at Southwestern, though. I mean,
I know it, and that is a tough
team
game.
That played Douglas to the final in the regions. So like, they're where we are. Like we see that as a big. I mean, I think that's a top 10 game, week one. And historically, we've not come out great in the first game of the season. And we've talked to the kids about that. We've really talked about that as a staff. Why? What do we need to do different? And that's a big game for us. So I'm excited about week one. Something that I think is interesting is after last year, so many uncertainties. Like kids are doing a great job right now of being where their feet are. Like there's so much positive energy at our practice right now. Like the coaches are happy to be outside and playing. The kids are. Nobody's dreading practice.
Yeah.
Like everybody's pumped to be out there, and I think that just every week's excited to be that game because
they're happy to be back.
Remember what it was like to not have it.
Yeah.
Maybe until it gets 100 degrees, and then maybe they'll change.
Maybe they won't regret. They won't regret, or they won't dread practice. They'll just dread the weather out there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, this is the last question, Coach. We'll let you go. Do you feel like you're more energized now because some of these changes? Does it feel more fresh, if you will? That you're going out there to practice. You got some new faces out there.
Yeah.
You're seeing more faces because the mask and stuff are gone. Does it just feel like you're kind of rejuvenated now with all this stuff that's going on?
Yeah, and there's a couple things that play into that. One is, I'm not as young as I was when I took this job, so having former players around me.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love that
because it keeps you young.
Well, and they were there from the get-go. They know me different. They understand what I want. And I understand them. So I think it's a different dynamic.
Yeah.
It's a very close personal relationship, and when your coaches can be that way, I think the kids feed off of that. And that's very much going on right now. That's one thing. I think another thing is all our coaches are bought in to the mission that we have in that room. And I think that's a big difference in everybody's delivering the same message to every kid on the team.
Yeah.
So there's no uncertainty of what's being said, what's being thought, what our objective is. So everybody being on the same page, rowing the boat the same direction makes a huge difference as well. And then, the last thing is I think it makes a big difference that I'm just coaching quarterbacks this year and outside linebackers. I'm not calling plays, coaching the line. I'm working with one player on the field at a time, and I'm working with the outside linebackers, and I think that's a different dynamic for our team. I think it's been significantly better. I'm a better head coach this way than I was when I was calling plays, coaching big
because you used
groups.
To do it all.
I was doing too much. And to get to a point where I could find people I could trust to do the right things and step back a little has been great for our program.
Well, Coach, looking forward to football. I know it's getting closer. I feel like every time I get on Facebook and Twitter, it's another update. And, we're looking forward to it and seeing you guys back out there again this year.
This is going to be a fun year, and it's going to feel good. Like, I had looked at a picture the other day of like our stands. You remember how crowded our games used to get?
Yeah, and loud.
Like packed, like standing on the track only. Like I cannot wait for that again.
And hopefully it will, perpetuate more sponsors to help the team. You guys, I know you always need sponsors for food.
Yep. Our boosters have been great this year. Kenny Fields took over as our booster president. They've done a great job of being organized, raising money. Because last year nothing came in.
Yeah.
So we're having to really make up for some things. So they've done a fantastic job of seeing the urgency with that as well.
That's Jon Clark, the head coach at Madison Southern's football team. Coach, step aside for another commercial break. Come back. We'll preview a couple of big baseball games coming up this week on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Hey, why aren't you watching these 30-second walk-arounds?
And I'm Jennifer, and in the spring of 1992, Bishop Small Engine Repair was born in our mom and dad's barn in Estill County.
Then in the fall of 1992, we made the move to Madison County, where we are today. With the support of our family, customers, and community, we have continued to grow in the outdoor power industry. With a full line of products from Kokudet, Grasshopper, Echo, and Shindawa, we can help you tackle your yard so you can enjoy it with your family. Bishop Small Engine Repair, where our focus is our customer. Stop on in, 119 North Estill Avenue in Richmond. We can't wait to see you.
Support your favorite team with apparel from Campus Wearhouse in Richmond. Whether you're an EKU fan or you're a part of the Big Blue Nation, Campus Wearhouse has something for you. Stop by and see their new line of Old Road t-shirts, because guys, we know Saturdays are for the boys. Plus, they have the cutest seasonal tees for the ladies. And Campus Wearhouse now carries the new line of tees for the kiddos as well. Visit campuswarehouserich.com or stop by their location in the Richmond Center next to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best margaritas and fajitas in town. Doesn't a huge 32-ounce ice-cold beer sound great? Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Back here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
Are you ready for football?
I'm ready for football. I always tell you this whenever Coach
I'm ready
Clark comes
for football.
on. I always get pumped up. He's just got that kind of energy to him. So.
Absolutely. That's why we love it.
Folks, listen, if you've not been over here to Campus Wearhouse, you got to get over here and check out their entire inventory, EKU, UK apparel. They've got some, Army stuff. Saturdays are for the boys, the Old Row stuff. I mean, literally something for everybody here at Campus Wearhouse.
I know, my nephew loves all that Old Row stuff, so he's got a birthday coming up.
There you
I'm
go.
going to be right here.
We got a big baseball game coming up tomorrow, a top 10 matchup in the state. Number 7, Madison Central, will host number 1, Louisville Trinity. Trinity has only lost 2 games this season.
I'm turning around so I can now talk to you. Sorry.
Well,
I had my back to you because I was trying to be nice to the coach. Now I'm turning back around to give you my full attention. Go.
I like it. But we are going to be live there tomorrow night. And then we're going to have senior night on Wednesday for Madison Southern baseball coming up. They think on Garrett County, I'm pretty sure. But 2 really good games. But the one tomorrow night going to be underneath the lights. It's 7 o'clock first pitch. They're going to honor some of the champions that they've had at Madison Central with the dance team and the cheerleading team. And I think the basketball team is going to be honored as well. So it's going to be a really good crowd, a big deal, welcoming in the number 1 team in the state. Going to be a huge game. If you cannot make it out, which, I mean, if you're a baseball fan, that's a game you want to go watch.
I mean, they have 2-3 players that could be prospects that won't even play in college. And if they play in college, it might be one
Yeah, they've got some guys that are really good, and
they are definite draft prospects. There, I couldn't get that out.
Their only 2 losses came to out-of-state Floyd Central out of Indiana, and they lost to DeSales one day last week. So they've only lost 2 games. This team's really good, and they'll play Madison Central tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And a player to watch out for this team is
Lyle.
Yeah, Dalen Lyle. He's hit 12 home runs on the year. He's been walked 33 times. This is the guy that's going to be playing some Major League Baseball very, very soon.
He is, I think he's committed to the University of Louisville. But from reading all the news articles and watching the news programs out of Louisville, his coach is saying that he really has big league potential and that he could move on and not play in Louisville.
That's tomorrow night, 7 o'clock start. 2 future Louisville baseball players playing against each other with Brandon Anderson at Central and then the Lyle kid at Trinity. So that's
I didn't
tomorrow
even think
night.
about that. That's cool.
Yeah. Under the lights at Madison Central, big baseball game. The number 1 team in the state, Louisville Trinity, versus the number 7 team in the state, the Madison Central Indians. We'll be there tomorrow night, folks. Watch it live on WBON. From all of us here and for Campus Wearhouse, our host tonight, this has been the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.